What's up, bitches? Yeah, that was a bit much. So I recorded this several times now, and we're just gonna go with this as the intro. Welcome to my very first video. I'm Anya. Supernova is on the couch beside me. Octavia is laying at my feet like the clingy collie that she is. So we're all here, we're all ready to party, and let's get this thing started. So, today we are... creaky chair. Today we are going to the Dollar Tree, and me and Octavia are going to do some PA stuff. We are going to work on some tasks. She hasn't done a ton of task work in public, so I'm curious to see, where she's at with that. Yeah. Another reason we're going to the Dollar Tree is because she loves children and wants to say hello to them, even though I am nervous AF around children all the time. Let's be real. I'm nervous all the time. So, anyways, so she really likes children, and so I'm gonna take her and let her kind of desensitize to the fact that she doesn't get to say hi to every kid that she meets, and that's okay. And so we're gonna work on greeting behaviors and things like that. So yeah, let's roll that clip now. as you guys saw, Octavia is doing really well with a lot of things. I'm really, really happy with how this training session went. Um, Definitely some things that I want to work on, her crying response being one of them. You'll notice in the videos that she let out a couple barks when I was fake crying, which I do not love, so I definitely want to figure out where that's coming from and fix that as soon as possible. But nothing that a little more training can't fix, so I'm not too worried. Her healing was great. Her interactions with children was flawless. She didn't say hi to any child or adult, and she actually sat at my side while I talked to an elderly couple. So I'm really, really proud of how far she's come in that aspect, because even just a couple weeks ago, she would have wanted to go greet and jump on them. So big, big deal for her. Um, so this is the Q&A portion of the video. So I have my phone and I have all your questions that you guys submitted on Instagram. So let's jump right into that. So the first question is, anything you wish you would have trained the dog sooner? Impulse control. I wish that I did a lot more stationing and a lot more on and off games with teaching both of the dogs how to have an off switch and how to just shut down. Shut down is the wrong word. I want to teach them how to calm down is the better word. Yeah. How did you decide on your dogs? So Supernova was a gift. I was looking into a German Shepherd and I wanted to rescue, so I was looking into the local rescue groups, and I kept getting turned down because I lived in an apartment. So my credentials and my training history didn't seem to matter. All that mattered was I was in an apartment, which I found ridiculous. But that's aside the point. So I was getting really discouraged, and I started looking at breeders, and I found a breeder that I really, really liked, but I just didn't think it was feasible to buy a puppy at that time. And then one day I came home from work, and my boyfriend at the time had two pictures, one picture of a pile of puppies and another picture of two adult German Shepherds. And he said that one of those puppies was mine and that was her parents. And all we had to do was fill out a questionnaire and talk to the breeder, because the breeder wanted to meet with me and talk about what I wanted out of a puppy. And from there, the breeder was going to pick out which dog best fit my personality, which she did a great job. Nova is exactly what I wanted in a dog. I could not ask for a more perfect dog. It breaks my heart that I have to retire her so early because of arthritis. But apart from her medical stuff, she's flawless in so many ways. So that's how I got Nova. And Octavia, I did a bunch of research. I knew I wanted a dog from the Fab Four because I wanted to stack the deck in my favor. So I knew I wanted a Fab Four dog. I did a bunch of research on all four of them, and the collie best fit my personality. And professionally, all of the rough collies that I have worked with, I have fallen in love with. There's one in specific that I can think of that if her owners ever wanted to rehome her, she would live with me forever because I think that she is perfect. Luckily, her owners also think that she is perfect, so there's no chance in me getting another dog. Yeah, so that's how I got both my dogs. One thing you wish you would do more of and why? Face mask. They make me feel pretty, they make me feel in control and very adult. They just make me feel centered. So I really wish that I would make more time to do those. One thing you wish you would see more of out in the world? Acceptance. I had to think about this question for a really long time to figure out just one thing that I would want to see out in the world, and it would be acceptance. So no matter who you love, what gender you identify as, what your body type is, what you do with your body, I accept you wholeheartedly. It is your decision. It is your life. And I wish that we saw more of that in the world. And I won't go any further on that because I feel like we're right on the line of getting political, and that's not what I want to do. At what age were you diagnosed? Were you first diagnosed? 20. So I got my first diagnosis at 20. It was the wrong diagnosis. I was diagnosed major depressive disorder with psychotic effects. So definitely not me. And I actually lost faith in psychiatry after that diagnosis because I didn't feel depressed. I didn't act depressed. I didn't understand what high functioning depression was at that time. So I just thought psychology was this big phony thing. And they just slapped a label on everyone, and everyone was depressed or anxious. And so there was almost 2 years of time where I didn't seek any psychiatric help, even though I needed it because I didn't have any faith in the field. So that really sucked. And that's totally my fault. Who has been your biggest inspiration in life? That's a good question. Suzanne Clothier. She is a trainer based out of New York. She is a pioneer in the relationship-centered training field, and I have had the opportunity to meet her many times, and she is so sweet, so kind, and is one of the best teachers that I've met. Her speaking methods are also hilarious, so that's just icing on the cake. She wrote Bones Would Rain from the Sky along with a bunch of other training books, and I can't recommend her methods enough. I think that her work with the auto check-in, with really real relaxation, things like that, I think that she's just an absolute genius. Not a question, but I can't wait to meet you. You're a serious inspiration. Aw, come on. You guys are such an inspiration to me. I never thought that I would feel so loved and so welcome in a community of essentially online strangers. So thank you for accepting me into the community, for uplifting me when I have dark times, and for thinking that I am something to aspire to. Um, yeah, the service dog community has been a huge impact. It's had a huge impact on my life, and I know that there's a lot of negativity in the community, and there's definitely a lot of shaming on training methods and drama and things like that. But all of that aside, especially the Instagram service dog community is so welcoming and so kind. And I just can't thank you guys enough. I don't think you understand how big of an impact that you guys had on my life and on my confidence. I feel more sure as a trainer, as a handler, and as a person because of the support that I've gotten from this community. And it's not support that I have anywhere else. I don't get a lot of family support. Because of my illness, I have very few friends. So you guys mean the world to me. So moving on to something less serious. Can you be bipolar if no one else in your family has it? I'm gonna have to say yes. I'm not a medical professional, but I will say that I have been diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia, which is basically schizoaffective bipolar disorder. But no one in my family is bipolar. I definitely talked to a medical professional about it because, I'm not a medical professional. But in my opinion, I don't think someone in your family has to be bipolar. Um, I hope you get the answers that you need, though. I hope you get the help that you need because you deserve it. You are absolutely amazing, and I love your dog, and you deserve all the happiness in the world. What does your username mean? So, my username is Schizo and Novocaine. Schizo is the first part of schizophrenia, so that is putting schizo in my username is my way of taking an illness that has ruined my life and owning it. Um, I know a lot of people say that you're not your illness, but I am schizophrenic. I am part. I am schizoaffective, and that is part of my life, and it's part of who I am, and I'm okay with that. So that's the schizo part, and Novocaine is my German Shepherd. She is my retired service dog. She retired a couple months ago because of a medical problem. She has developed arthritis, so she had to retire early, unfortunately. I still have her. I love her to death. She is one of the biggest things that has made me a better handler, just because she was initially a very difficult dog to deal with. Her name is Supernova, and I call her Novocaine because she kind of numbs the pain for me. So that is where my username came from. Are collies good for panic attack anxiety response? I'm looking into getting one partially for that. I would say yeah. They're part of Fab 4, so they are the most likely to excel at service work, and Octavia is panic attack alert, and she does fabulous. She does infinitely better than Supernova ever did. As much as I love Supernova, Octavia excels in service work where Nova could not. What stores do you train at the most? HEB. So I'm based in Texas, so HEB is a grocery store for those of you that are non-Texans. My brother works at the local HEB, so I know a lot of the workers. I've grown up in sort of that HEB culture because he's worked there for so long. And I actually worked there when I was 16. So it's the first place that I ever took Octavia. They are so welcoming, so kind, and really give me space and the time to grow with Octavia. They're so understanding. I love training there. I also train a lot at local dollar stores because I really like sort of that thrift shop feel, and it's got a lot of things for her to practice Leave It with, which she needs lots of practice with Leave It. Anything you wish you would have trained the dog sooner? I answered that question already. Sorry, I gotta readjust. My foot fell asleep. Whew. Okay. So why did you choose a collie? I'm looking into one myself. Oh my God, do it. Collies are amazing. But for real, do a ton of research, talk to collie people, talk to breeders, get a real feel for their personality because they're not a dog that's for everyone. They're very drivey, they're a herding breed, so they've got a lot of herding instinct in them. Octavia nips at heels, is super jumpy, is very vocal. Lots of things that a green handler would have trouble dealing with. I don't recommend them if they are your first dog to train yourself. But I personally chose a collie because I like the challenge that the breed offers, and out of the Fab 4, they are my favorite. So I work professionally as a dog trainer. I have for almost 9 years now, and no, it's been 8 years. So I have for 8 years now, and every rough collie client I've ever had, I've fallen in love with the dog. So that says something for the breed. What's been the hardest task to train? Hallucination alert. Octavia just doesn't get it. I've stopped training it for now. I've kind of put it on hold because I want to let her mature a little bit more before I go back to it. So I'm going to pick it up again when she's 6 months old. She's almost 5 months old. She'll be 5 months in a couple days. So in about a month, I'll pick it up again, and I'm going to do a bunch of recording of how I do it because I know a lot of you have questions on how I personally train hallucination alerts. It is a pain in the butt to train, and as I said, Octavia just doesn't seem to get it. So that's definitely been the hardest command that I've had to train her. For Nova, the hardest task was deep pressure therapy. Nova's not a very clingy dog. She's not a dog that really likes to lay on you. So the idea of her having to lay on top of me was foreign to her, and she really hated it. Which is another reason that I retired her. She just couldn't do the job that I needed, and that's okay. She's still a great dog. What are some basic commands a service dog should know? So they should know sit, down, stand, stay in all of those positions. So sit, stay, down, stay, stand, stay. Recall if you are needing to work off leash. If your disability need requires an off leash component. Leave it is a huge one, and some form of eye contact. So I teach auto check-ins to my clients and my service dog. I know a lot of people do a watch me command. Totally preference. I just prefer auto check-ins over watch me commands. I think that they look cleaner and they make more sense to the dog. Those are the big basic obedience things. Oh yeah, leash walking. So they need to be able to walk at your side, move when you move, stop when you stop. They don't have to have a competition heel, but they do need some form of a heel. What's your favorite thing about you? Getting deep in this first video. Can I pass on this question? Can I say my dogs? Can I give a snarky comment? I guess if I had to choose something that I liked about myself, it'd be my stubbornness. I am, in general, kind of a stubborn jerk. I see something that I want and I go for it, and I don't let anything stand in my way, and I tend to bulldoze over things that are in my way, which is not ideal for interpersonal relationships, but it is ideal for mental illness because it means I don't give up. I won't let this illness defeat me because at the end of the day, I still have a lot of things that I want to accomplish in life. So definitely my stubbornness. It's kind of a godsend. Not a question, but I'm so excited for the video. Aw, I'm excited for you guys to see this. I really hope that you like it. I put a whole lot of work into it. I don't have the best camera, so I apologize for the shaky camera quality and things like that. But I'm really, really excited for you guys to see this. Octavia worked really hard for this video. What are the main behaviors and traits in a puppy that would indicate a future in therapy work? So this question asked for therapy dogs, so I will answer only for therapy dogs. So therapy dogs are different than service dogs, and they're different than emotional support dogs. So if you don't know the difference between the three, I would definitely look that up because it's a really interesting, there are three very distinct jobs and they're very interesting. Um, so for therapy work, I'm looking for a dog that is confident in their environment, a dog that's biddable. So I want a dog that can work with me, and resilience. I want a dog that if something new or scary or exciting happens, they can kind of bounce back and find their center and focus on their handler. So those are the main three things that I look for when I'm assessing potential therapy dogs. When were you first diagnosed? So at 20. I was diagnosed major depressive at 20. At 22, I sought out psychiatric help again because I had to drop out of college and I couldn't hold down a job and I could barely leave the house. And at that time, I was diagnosed schizophrenic. It was less than a year later before I was diagnosed schizoaffective depressive type. And it's only been recently that that diagnosis has changed to bipolar type. Was it difficult to accept your diagnosis? Oh my God. Like I said, there was a 2-year period where I didn't seek psychiatric help because I'd lost faith in psychiatry. Um, I fought it every step of the way. I didn't want to be sick. And it's funny because I started showing symptoms when I was 16 or 17. And it was just one day that I woke up and I felt different. And it was like someone had switched a light switch in my brain. And everything was different. Everything looked and felt different. I felt like a different person. I actually changed my name when I was 18 because I felt like the name that I was born under was the old me, the non-sick me, and who I was becoming was someone more detached from reality, and more detached from emotions, which I didn't understand at the time was part of my illness. I thought it was just me being kind of a badass. Um, but obviously, that's not the case. Um, so it was kind of like a light switch moment, but it never dawned on me that I was sick. I always thought that I was just smarter and I was destined to do great things and that it was my fate to be this wonderful person that went down in history books. And I didn't see that as a delusion. It took me a really long time to understand that those are delusions, delusions that I still have to this day. And that's not who I am. I am sick, and that is my brain's way of tricking me. So it's only been pretty recently that I've actually accepted my illness and started talking about it. For the longest, I hid it. Um, Once I finally did accept that I was sick, I hid it out of shame and I pushed all relationships away and I overworked myself and I bulldozed over everyone in my path that got in the way of career success, and all of that was to avoid facing the fact that my brain is not right, that reality is hard for me to uh, differentiate between what my brain says and what is actually real. So it's only been very, very recently that I have come into my own. And now I am trying to advocate for psychotic disorders because I think it's important. I think there's a lot of stigma out there, and I think we need to talk more about what schizophrenics and schizoaffectives go through because it's very different. And I know my family didn't understand it for the first couple years. I know they still don't really understand. So I definitely want to kind of spread the word of people living with psychotic disorders. Why didn't you get another GSD? So I love German Shepherds. They're my heart breed. I will probably always own one, but I didn't get another one for service work because of dysplasia. And this is my second Shepherd that has developed a problem. My first one developed hip dysplasia. Now Nova's got arthritis in her elbows, and I just didn't want to risk it again. I wanted a dog that had a higher chance of being able to make it to 7 or 8 or 9 before I had to retire them, because as all you guys know, training a service dog takes forever. So I wanted the longevity that a Shepherd, unfortunately, cannot give me consistently. How's Novocaine dealing with retirement? She had a really good day today. Me and Octavia went to work, and Nova just kind of chilled, and she had a pretty good day. But in general, she has gotten a lot more whiny. I thought she would get more clingy since I'm leaving her home now, but she hasn't. She's kept her independence, but she's a lot more vocal. And I think that's partly because she had to retire from service work and from agility at the same time, so it was kind of like shock. But we are training for a new sport, and I plan on sharing that sport with you guys and posting some videos as soon as I decide which one we are going to go with. We're trying a variety of sports right now, and I'm looking forward to the future and seeing what Nova can do in a brand new sport. Have you considered doing a tandem team with both dogs? No. I don't need it. Nova has arthritis. It's not fair to work her. A tandem team doesn't make sense for me. Have you been in a psych ward before, or will this be your first time? I've been inpatient 4 times. So this upcoming visit, if I do end up going, I see my doctor in about 2 weeks, and if he thinks that it is time, then I will go. So if he does think that it's necessary, this will be my 4th visit. So that is all the questions that you guys asked me. Thank you for sending in your questions. I really enjoyed doing this, so I think doing another Q&A will definitely be in the future. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will try to post another one by next weekend, and we're going to get on a weekly schedule here. It'll probably be posting like every Friday or Sunday. Yeah, so I will see you guys next week.